Meanwhile we are setting up, let me set some context. Today we are going to talk about dynamic rendering. And it's my first talk, first in-person talk. And I do not want to make it boring or get too much deep into the coding, etc. My idea of learning is to make it more intriguing. And for me, I personally feel that storytelling to me is very intriguing. So how many of you love listening to stories? Please raise your hands. That's great, that's awesome. So today I'm gonna share my personal experience, which I had at Tata 1MG, right? And we'll be talking about, we are in a situation wherein we are rushing towards performance, right? Everyone needs to get that 100 score on the lighthouse, right? But at times we ignore the SEO as well. SEO is equally important for your business, for your e-commerce, especially if you are any company like an e-commerce or you are a news-based company which needs search results, which need to get on top of search results, right? So today we'll be taking a look at how we can overcome challenges of performance and the SEO and the trade-off that comes with it. So moving ahead, we'll introduce our characters of this story. So this is Mr. Anshul. That's our performance manager at our team. So a little background about this guy. He is majorly focused towards getting the best performance out of the web. And on the other side, this is Uncle Chandan. So he's our SEO expert, and his major agenda is to get the best rankings out there. So I, as a developer, how do I get stuck between these two people and the different requirements? So this is that journey. So let's have a look at the problem statement. So the major problem that we addressed was that we do not have to mitigate any other aspect without touching any other aspect, be it security, be it accessibility, or be it SEO. I have to improve the web's performance. And this is our journey over the years. In 2018, at Tata 1MG, we had 5 million plus active users and 2 lakh plus SKUs. And fast forwarding to today, in 2022, we have 25 million plus active users and 5 lakhs plus SKUs, and this has been our growth trajectory. So we have been working on our performance, we have been working on our SEO consistently for so many years, and that's why the result shows. Now at this scale, when you are getting so many requests per second, you are getting an RPM of, let's say, 35 to 40K, right? You cannot, ignore either SEO or performance. You need everything. So how do I do that? So we start with a simple observation. That is generally when we are developing single-page applications with either React or Angular, it bundles everything in a single JavaScript file and CSS file, which we include in our HTML, and the file sizes generally grow, right? So over here, we'll see that this is a demo app. This is a local of our Tata's 1MG's production application. And in the network, if we go and see, and if I reload the page, see the size of the JavaScript is coming out to be 2.2 MBs uncompressed. And if I have a look at the compressed version of it, that is coming out to be 267 KBs. This is huge. This is huge for any performance-based company. It will give you a lot of latency. So what do we do? How do we reduce the size? So the first solution that comes to your mind, that is, let's say do code splitting, right? And a lot of frameworks out there are already providing code splitting. You can go with Next, you can go with Remix, you can do code splitting on your own, setting up your own thing, right? So we'll start with the route-based code splitting. And what I'll do is, I'll take this single JavaScript bundle and split it into multiple bundles of several pages. So each and every route, so let's say I'm going on a home page, then I'll be just getting the JavaScript and CSS for the home page, right? And similarly, if I'm getting on the OTC and so on, so I'll be getting just JavaScript, etc. for that particular page. So I'll quickly run the route-based splitting and let's see how the reduction happens. Now let me just quickly reload the page. And you can see from, let me just quickly hard reload this, just to ensure that there is no caching, etc. So from the size of 276 KBs, it is down to 46 KB itself, right away. So that's the power that you get with route-based code splitting. There are multiple ways of doing it. And we have personally used Loadable, and we have built our own loading library on top of that as well, which will be having support for suspense very soon. So this is how we do it. This is how we do the code splitting. And the best part is Mr. Anshul is happier now. So far so good. I'm excited. The site is really fast. And for most of the people out there, you should be good to go, right? You have your application fast enough. Maybe it's not hitting 80 to 90 score. Maybe it's just 60, maybe it's just 70, and it's getting the job done. So everything should be good to go, and you can pack your bags and maybe leave. But the real problem comes when you want to even further optimize it, right? So what happens if you want to optimize it even further? So a lot of people must have noticed this. When you are scrolling down a mobile application page on mobile web, you are not using the complete web then and there, right? So you are just utilizing maybe the first fold of it. You are interacting with the first fold, and slowly you are going down, and then you are scrolling with the rest of the page, right? So do we need the JavaScript and CSS of the rest of the page as well? How many of you think that we do need the JavaScript, etc. for the rest of the page? No one. That's the correct journey, right? That's the correct direction. So how do I reduce the size further? I create widget level chunking. So instead of loading the JavaScript of the complete page, I am just fetching the assets for the first fold of the page, which is visible to the user. So now instead of just having a single JavaScript bundle and having route on the URL level, on the route level, I am having the chunking on the widgets level, right? So now this will further reduce my size, and let's have a look at it. So now, as soon as we reload the page, we are even down further. And we can see that along with us, we have these route-based chunks, as well as we have separate widgets. We have separate network requests for these widgets, which you can cache, which you can maybe use up later in your further pages. Once these widgets are, downloaded, these can be reused and cached as well. So now these are the results. We are even further down in our app.js and page size. and Mr. Anshul is even more happier. So where exactly the problem lies? Everything is going so good. We have increased our performance. We have, optimized our web performance to the maximum. But this is what exactly happens. We were seeing the complete page as we were scrolling down the page, but this is how the Google bot sees your page. Right? The Google bot just have the first fold of it, right? And it is just having the white page, and your content is not accessible at all. The JavaScript and the CSS, which is served to the Google bot, that will also cause delay in indexing of your pages. Because there is, let's say, a news website, right? Wherein you have to update your news very frequently. But if you are serving your JavaScript and CSS assets along with your web page to the Google bot, it will definitely take time to download it, then execute it, and then from there it will increase the indexing time of your Google bot. This is something which you do not want, especially if you're, let's say, running a sale on your e-commerce website, or you have some content which is very frequently updated. And of course, our SEO expert is sad now. We do not have the perfect SEO score. So what are my options now? My options are either I make my performance manager sad and the SEO expert happy, or the other way around. So what do I do? How many of you think that the SEO is important, or you would have gone with a SEO score, better SEO score with maybe relatively lower performance score? Can I see some hands? Okay. And how many of you would do the vice versa, would have gone for a better performance score than the SEO scores? I'm afraid we can't do both. we have to make everyone happy. So what's the solution? What do I choose? So introducing. No, that's not it. So we'll be introducing dynamic rendering this time for a solution. So what exactly is dynamic rendering? We have a server which will be serving our JavaScript page to the browser. So that's how it has been so far. But instead of doing that, what I'll do is I'll take that initial HTML and JavaScript, I'll pass it to a renderer on my server, and I'll generate a static HTML for it. And that is what I'll serve to the crawlers. So this is the basic concept of dynamic rendering, wherein you are treating the user differently, be it bots, be it your crawlers, or be it your normal users. So for the bots, I'll be serving the complete page, and for the normal users, I'll be serving the partial rendered page. Now, there are popular solutions to implement dynamic rendering. One of them is Puppeteer. So Puppeteer spawns a headless instance of Chrome, and you can basically extract out a PDF or a HTML out of it. But on a production level application, that's a bit tough to do. Generally, for your practice, or if you want to get a taste of how dynamic rendering works, you can definitely use Puppeteer. Or if you just have a static website with 4 or 5 pages, that should work. Then we have Rendertron and Pre-Renderer. Rendertron and Pre-Renderer provides you with a caching mechanism. A specific cached version of your site will be on the server that can be cached to the Google bots. But again, Pre-Renderer charges you for more than 250 pages, and Rendertron, on the other hand, it's a bit expensive to spawn its instances of your Google Chrome on the runtime and generate the HTML. So again, in the production, where you having, let's say, 35,000 requests per second, it's very difficult to do that. So what's our solution? Let's take you to that. So let's say we have a client and we have a server with our rendering engine, and the request is made for the server. Now my rendering engine will see whether request is coming from a Google bot or is it coming from a normal user. And the way to do it is that you can identify the user agent of the request, and then accordingly you can make the decision. We'll be getting into the code very quickly once we understand this. So let's say, yes, it is a Google bot. So what do? I send him the complete HTML and CSS, but I do not serve the JavaScript, because for the crawler, for the bot, the page, the content is what matters the most and how it looks, right? But on the other hand, if it is not a bot, if it's a normal user, I'll send the partial page along with the CSS and also along with the JS, so that the rest of the page can be generated on the fly. And then we finally serve that response back to the client. So getting into the code real quick. So we are again using Loadable over here. So in Loadable, what we do is we identify each and every component. We are breaking it on the widget level, and we are setting a very small prop, whether the server-side rendering is true or not for that particular component. If yes, then it will come rendered on the server. If not, then it will be rendering on the client itself. And this is the check that we put on the server. We are identifying whether it's a Google bot or not, or whether it's a normal user. And then after that, after identifying that, we serve and render accordingly. So it's show time. Let's have a look at the production application. So what we'll do is we'll start from, let's say, about blank, right? And what we'll be doing is we'll be searching for a medicine. Let's say it's a Dolo, and you can see we are already coming on the top. Now, how much time do you guys think that it will take for us to specially load our page? As you can see, this is not an AMP page. This is a regular mobile website page. You can't see that flash icon on the right side. So it's just right there, as soon as I click. So this is how fast it loads. This is how fast it gets when you are doing widget level chunking, when you are minimizing your JavaScript bundles, etc. Right? And as I am scrolling down the page, you can see everything is well rendered. Now if I check the network, right? And if I go on the document, if I check this document out, this is a partial render document which is served to the client, right? But what if it was, let's say, request coming from a Google bot? So let's mimic that. We'll set the user agent from default browser to a Google bot smartphone, and we'll re-render our page, and we'll check our document again, and this is what you get. You get the complete HTML with all the content which is required for my SEO. Get the complete rendered page. Now, since we are talking about performance, since we are talking about Google bots, since we are talking about SEO, let's do a quick auditing of our site. So I'll go on the Lighthouse, I'm selecting performance and SEO, and I'm generating the report. So what do you guys think? What will be the score? So this is the live production application. We are getting a .100 score on performance. We are getting a .100 score on SEO. And that's the way you can improve it from, let's say, a very low score to a score of, a double hundreds. And who doesn't like that? So again, quickly going through the results, we have we are topping on the search results for most of the medicine searches out there, and that is with no AMP involved. Our current organic traffic, if we have a look at it, is going on increasing, and for the top 5,000 keywords, we are having the first or within the 1.5 rankings on the SEO. And getting a 90 plus in performance score. In fact, we are getting 100 now. So this makes everyone happy in the end. So what did we learn today? Just quickly summarizing all the things that we did. First of all, SEO is equally important for your business, for any website that is client facing. And bots need your content fast, and they need maximum content of your website so that it can crawl, it can index, it can, further give you a good ranking. And generally, with these libraries that we use, be it React, be it Angular, we are sending a single page application, and when we are rendering the application on the client side, we are generally getting a blank HTML from the server side without us noticing that. Now, dynamic rendering can help you simplify these and improve both your performance and SEO scores. So, coming to the moral, I think no story is complete without a good moral behind it and a vision supporting it, right? So the moral is that, complex problems can have simple solutions. You just need to look in the right direction. And this is not by any famous author, this is by me. And the vision, I have a vision for the web community. This is coming from a personal experience. So when I started my journey in the front end, everyone used to think that the front end people generally are good for, let's say, making HTML, CSS, and JavaScript wasn't even considered a programming language. So from there till, this point, wherein we are having conferences, we are actually debating on the right architectures, we are having, everyone is aware of what and how important the community is. I think my vision is to take our community to the next level, and I think React India has been doing a great job in this. So guys, give it up for React India. And with that, I'll take a leave. So thank you everyone. That was my time. Thank you.